she used to be a teacher. She loves, she always remembers her mother, more than father also, but mother particularly. The parents raised as a special child, like Mahatma Gandhi believed in education at home, because going to school etc. was polluting. So her parents also did not send her to school, they educated her. She went to school at a much later age, at 7th, 8th, 9th standard or something like that. She studied at home, and right from the childhood, she was given the samskaras, spiritual, she was taught so many shlokas, and they would tell stories and ideal, of great people, great women, great men, all saints. So this, she was brought up in this kind of an atmosphere. Her father gave up his job because of his freedom movement. He was in Africa. He gave up his job and came to India to serve the country. So thus her father was a freedom fighter. Her mother was a very saintly person. So from the childhood she got these samskaras. And she was always very fond of saintly people. So she met a number of saints. So she had a Guruji from Bengal, Buddhadev. He was a great yogi. So that was her first Guru, from whom she got the Diksha. Then she read, there was a great saintly person. His name was Kaga Kalelkar. He was a disciple of Mahatma Gandhi. So he grew up with Mahatma Gandhi. He was originally from Maharashtra, but spent all his life in Gujarat. So Gandhiji would call him 1.25 Gujarati, Savaya Gujarati, meaning that. So he was he was a very great man of letters, a great writer, and very saintly as well as very learned person.
He's very famous,
Very famous, yeah.
Very famous.
Famous. So she read one of his books, his Smarana Yatra, which is the story of his life. She wanted to meet with him. So she went to him, Delhi. And from then there was a bond between them, and Kaga Kalelkar took her as his daughter. So she would go there. She was a teacher in Ahmedabad, in St. Xavier School. For all vacations and things like that, she would go to Kaga Kalelkar and spend time. Before she came in contact with Kaga Kalelkar, what would he do in vacation? So she said, I want to go to Himalaya, I want to go to Rishikesh. And there is this Swargashram across the river. Stay there for a month or a quarter, attend the satsang, spend time with Mahatmas. Or if she had a 1 week vacation or something, go to Somnath and do a lot of chanting, a lot of recitals, a lot of pujas. This was her hobby. So her hobby was to go to these temples, go to Himalayas, go to Ganges, and she would travel all alone, fearless. In Himalayas also she would go to the forest, travel all alone, and very fond of reciting Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad and other stotras, and that she would keep doing that, and lost. So this is how she grew up. And then in 1984 in Ahmedabad we had this discourses by Swami Chinmayananji, which she attended. And then it was announced that classes will be started, which were our classes. So that's when she joined us. So from that time, for 30 years, she has been with us. She serves the Swami. She stays in our ashram and takes care of she's so meticulous, so thorough, so devoted. It's rare to find someone as thorough and as devoted as she is. She constantly only meditates upon Swami's needs constantly. And one thing will be in the right place, not there to hear. In the right place, in the right way, neat and clean, and So she's a great server. Very beautiful. And always these malas she makes. She's so
Yeah,
fond of
she
that.
wrote
Yeah.
a beautiful letter. She wrote. Did you read
Yeah,
it?
it's beautiful.
And she wrote that she made this mala.
Yes.
So she's,
She makes every year she makes at least 12 to 15 malas like this. Each one is a unique piece. Each is a unique. And while she is making this mala, she will chant mantra, either Mahamrutyunjaya mantra or mantra like that, And all malas are made essentially for the Swami. So on every auspicious occasion there is mala. Comes Janmashtami mala, Shivaratri mala, Diwali mala, her birthday mala. This Swami is, when I'm going out mala, and coming back mala. So it is 12 to 15 malas, are offered to me, and then they are given as prasad.
Yeah, so this is one of those.
So this is the process she goes through, purifying her mind.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
gets
This
all
is
the
her
grace.
devotion.
Yeah.
Other
This is how,
thing,
I think this is how you get the grace and everything.
yes. Other thing she makes is, as you said, you have this puja place,
Right.
a wooden temple
Right.
this size. So there is this backdrop, called it Pichwai, a backdrop. And there is this asan where all the deities are seated. And Swami is asan. So these three things she makes. So this asan and Pichwai. Every year she makes at least half a dozen of them. Keeps changing them. Every week she changes. And
Very educated lady.
very
too.
educated, yeah. She has translated several of her little books in good Hindi. She is very fond of that. And so she goes every year to Kaka Kalilkar's place in Delhi. It's called Sannidhi. And this Kusumben, one of her disciples of Kaka, she is now running that place. She always calls her there on special occasions. And otherwise she goes to Calcutta where her Guruji used to be. So her Guru's daughter is there. And her few friends, but very, very wonderful friends. Very, very loving and very great bond she has with them. Whoever comes to ashram, she serves. So whoever comes to our ashram also has the benefit of her care. So very caring person, very loving person, and by God's grace, a fit person. Because when she goes to Himalayas, every day she goes out into forests and mountains and very fond of mountains.
Good health, good health.
Good health. From the childhood, I think she has been brought up that way. And by God's grace, therefore, and because she walks and climbs and that way also, and takes care of her health. Moment there is a little bit of difficulty, her first thing is to skip the meal, stay hungry. That is the treatment. And always use Ayurvedic preparations and things like that. Takes care of her health.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So from June to
Then she joins us. And then
do
she
you go to that? Do you do that camp?
Yes,
In
yes.
October.
In
When in October?
Usually in the middle of October or 3rd of October. It goes like this. We have this Deepavali. We have the Navaratri. The 9 nights and then the Vijayadashmi.
That's in Ahmedabad.
That's in Ahmedabad. Next day to Vijayadashmi we leave for Rishikesh. So it falls with Vijayadashmi and Deepavali. The dates change because these are lunar calendar, But it comes in October, 2nd week, 3rd week, something like that.
We have Badrinath joining, we have
He was a great photographer. So he also made a documentary of his. And our Swaminiji, those days, was assigned the task of giving the commentary. So when that documentary will be shown, she would be giving commentary.
I would love to see that. Is it on YouTube?
I don't think so. I don't think it was that available. Now I don't know where it is right now. It will be there.
Yeah, if you have
It
it,
was
you
black
can
and white those days.
Yeah, we can
You guys
upload
can
it.
upload it so easily now.
Now of course there are many, but those days was a rare
Of
thing.
course.
So he has taken a picture of Badrinath, rare picture. The Badrinath is actually a Shaligram Shila. Shila means a stone, Shaligram. Shaligram is a black colored stone which you get in Nepal, which comes from the river Gandaki. and that represents Lord Vishnu. Because Shaligram, when it comes out of the river, you always see the marks around of what you call chakra. Almost invariably you see that. So associated with Lord Vishnu. And so people, it's a very auspicious thing to have in your puja, Shaligram. So this Badrinath is a Shaligram, in which is carved the form of Lord Narayana, who is seated in meditative posture. So rare thing is Narayana or Vishnu is always standing,
Yes.
or lying down in serpent.
Yes.
But that place, that kshetra, that region of Badrinath is a tapobhumi, is a place of
Yes.
tapasya. So Lord Vishnu incarnated as Nara and Narayana, rishis. So they did the tapasya. Right now also there are two mountains. One is called Nara, one is called Narayana. So they are still meditating. So it's a meditative posture of Narayana. And there are 4 arms, of which 2 seem to be broken. So when Adi Shankaracharya those days went to Badrinath, he had a dream. He says, hey, rescue me. I've been thrown away in water. It is said that some Buddhist people took that vigraha of Badrinath, threw away in water.
तब तो कुंड में डाल दिया, कुंड में डाल दिया था,
Narada Kunda.
नारद कुंड में डाल, और नारद शिला है वहाँ पर.
Then Shankaracharya had a dream. So it's a very dangerous place to go. But he went in there and retrieved. It was found that vigraha is khandita. Khandita means it is damaged. So put it back, because traditionally you do not worship, you do not place in place of worship the khandita murti. So next day again he had a dream. He says, no, you rescue me. Khandita and no Khandita, you establish me. So again he went and brought out and installed. So that's the vigraha. And Shankaracharya appointed a priest from Kerala. It's called Raval. So that tradition is coming down of Raval, who are the Brahmins of Kerala. In North Badrinath, from Kerala is south. That's how north-south association. What Shankaracharya did, he went to Nepal. There's another very famous temple of Lord Shiva. So there, it's called Pashupatinath. And there he had a priest from Maharashtra. So integration, So this Guruji, now this vigraha of Badrinath is so much decorated that you can't see the real thing. But in the morning at 4 o'clock, they give the bath,
अभिषेक होता है.
Abhishek. Then remove all the ornaments and everything. Then you can have darshan of the Lord as he is. Of that he has a picture, which is a rare thing. That Guruji took a picture.
Nobody is allowed to take pictures.
Nobody is allowed. Somehow he has that. We have it.
Oh,
Swamiji
wonderful.
had it somewhere
Ah.
in one of his things. So she brought that picture, we have it, of Badrinath.
स्वामी जी, और जबकि उनका मेरा 2